Growing up, one of my biggest aspirations was to be a singer. I always thought the idea of performing in front of an audience would be one of the coolest experiences, and it's something that I had a lot of passion for. I think this was during the era of high school, and I kind of brought this up to my parents, but they just thought it was super funny because, for one, I think everyone knows that it's super hard to break into the music industry, and two, they just didn't think I was any good. I remember purchasing a recording program on my computer, and I recorded myself. And the first thing I thought was, wow, I sound terrible. And I think it's because I was experiencing something known as being tone deaf. At that point, I had to kind of reevaluate what I wanted to do and, wake up a little. And I decided to go to post-secondary, get some education, and go get a job. The only thing is that there's still something lingering in the back that something not right. There's something else that I want to do, and I just wasn't so sure what. And it wasn't until after I worked for a few years that I realized that I want to create my own business. My name is Teddy Rainson, and I'm the creator of Hutsylife. So during my college days, I often felt like I never had enough time to do the things that I wanted. I always had an assignment that was due or a test or an exam I needed to prepare for. It never left me enough time to do, things that I want to do. I had ambitions and goals, yet I was always preoccupied with, another test, another exam. Graduating post-secondary, and landing a job, I often found that after work I was just too tired to even do anything else besides rest. And I feel like this feeling is something that many of us can relate to, whether if you're working and you gotta put in those overtime hours, or if you're at school and you really gotta hustle to, understand your content and prepare for that test. The motto behind Hutsylife is keeping the dream alive. And the phrase is a reminder to let people know to still savor some time for their ambitions, their goals, their hobbies. And it's because I feel like these things is what still gives us purpose. Not to say that going to school and working doesn't give us purpose, but a different kind. I feel like when you get to work on something that you enjoy doing or that you love, you feel a sense of fulfillment. And the brand Hutsylife is to remind us that, and it's used through its products, its clothes, and like I said, even in the motto. However, before the creation of Hutsylife, back around junior high, I did remember, I had a lot of time to do anything I wanted. My only problem was that I lacked motivation. I was very shy, and I liked to play computer games a lot. I didn't have very many friends, and I used video games as a way to connect with them, just because a lot of them live far away. And most times during lunch, I would sit in and play chess. Deep down, I knew that there was things that I could be doing that could be productive, but I didn't really care because I didn't have any responsibilities. All I wanted to do was just play video games and have fun. Moving forward, once I got, past high school and I got accepted into college, I got accepted for a program known as power engineering. It's basically where you take care of power plants and buildings, and you maintain them. This wasn't something that I had huge passion for, but I knew at the time that I wasn't sure of my direction, and I did not know what I wanted to do. I wasn't the kind of guy where I just understood things the first time. I often had to ask a lot of questions and focus really hard, just because things just never came to me on the first explanation. The biggest problem was with power engineering. You have to be quite mechanically inclined with fixing things and working with your hands. However, this was another ability that I lacked in, just because I like I said, when I was younger, I played a lot of video games. I never really had to fix anything or work on anything, really. And everything just kind of came a lot harder to me in this course. It wasn't easy. Afterwards, having to graduate from power engineering, I had a hard time finding a job. Ideally, you're supposed to pass a engineer's ticket, and it took me quite a few times before I could pass it. And it was obviously very discouraging. Like all my classmates are progressing, they're landing jobs, they're making a salary, and I was just kind of working an in-between job while trying to pass my exams and find a company that would even look at my resume. Shortly after, once I landed my test and I passed my engineer's ticket, I got a job for a property management company, and I was super excited. But the only problem was the environment was just not what I expected. I found that employees would encounter conflicts with each other a lot, or people would be, let's say dominant when there's really no need. I just found the whole atmosphere to be, not my style, right? I thought everyone would get along and see eye to eye, but that was not the case. So shortly after, around midway of my employment, I had encountered a motorcycle accident. I hit a pole with my stomach at 80 kilometers an hour, and it was probably the most painful experience I've ever had. But, at that moment when I was laying on the ground, I thought of my friends, I thought of my family, but one other thing I thought of too was I felt empty, because I felt like I had invested so much time in something that didn't mean a whole lot to me. And that was what I was doing right now. It was working for a company with people that I didn't enjoy, and doing something that I didn't really have a huge passion for. I think about 5 or 10 minutes after the ambulance came, and it was that last thought that kind of stuck with me. Having to wake up, I woke up with a 20-inch scar down my chest. I woke up with a broken arm and a list of other internal injuries. But I knew at that moment that I just wanted to do something that mattered to me. And that's when the brainstorming for Hutsylife began.